Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Who we got?
It's NADJA Natalia.
How you doing? How you doing? Long time no see.
I know. I've been good. How you been?
I've been good. It's been a year?
Yeah, a year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So before we get into why you're really here, where are you from?
From the DMV.
Okay.
So I was raised in Riverdale.
Really?
But if like where your work is, it's like I was literally in Parkview Gardens, 64 Ave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's dope. That's dope. Okay, so you do photography?
Yes, that actually started in high school.
High school.
So
I'm not gonna put you on the spot and ask how old you are, but we just gonna keep it at high school.
let's just say high school.
Go ahead.
So I was in a tech crew, and it was like Spirit Week. It was like my senior year, and the teacher for the tech crew, he hands me a Canon camera. That's how I just got familiarized with it. I don't remember the model of it, but it was a heavy camera.
Okay.
And I remember I was taking pictures, and some people enjoyed the pictures, like, oh, these pictures is nice. Keep taking pictures of me. Then from there, after graduation, I immediately went to the Art Institute of Washington, which I regret going because...
Well, why? That's like, I hear all the good stuff about that school.
No, first of all, AI is disorganized, and the way they had me, they didn't want me to work during my first year.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, how am I supposed to work and pay for classes?
Oh, got you.
So it was stress, like a lot of stuff happened. But after I was terminated for filming the class, I just kept going. I still had my camera, and the first camera I had was the Canon EOS 5D Mark II digital camera with 24 to 105 zoomed in lens.
Okay.
The fact that I still remember that is like amazing.
And it's one of the fancy cameras.
Oh my gosh, full frame.
Yeah, even to this day, that's still like,
full frame, gorgeous camera. Such an amazing.
That's so dope. That's so dope. You do good work too. I'm a fan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you also a model?
Yes.
How did you get into that?
I've always wanted to model. I used to be a fan of America's Next Top Model. And I thought I was like socially awkward because I was just like, I don't know how to pose. But then watching the show, it helped out a lot. But over the years, I've seen how the modeling industry changed, and I kind of like gave up on that. Okay. But then once I had photography, and I was like, well, I don't know anybody else that wants to take pictures or wants to get their picture taken. So I was like, let me just try out myself. And over the years, I have overcome the shyness of taking pictures with a digital camera instead of a regular phone, and knowing my angles, knowing where I stand, how I stand, and pose, and etc. is now I'm better now. Like now you see more of me in front of the camera. So now I'm able to do both and know how to do both.
That's dope. So I'm gonna need you to help me to learn how to coach people because I'm a terrible coach. So you gotta.
I got you. I got you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So, which one do you prefer more, in front or behind the camera?
Oh my gosh, behind, because I have so much control behind the camera. But I'm one of those photographers that don't like to use a lot of Photoshop. Okay. Unless it's like to, make the picture more clear, more sharpened, or just to brighten up something. I don't mind those. And I also don't mind if I'm fixing like pimples on your face, if you don't want this or this out.
Oh, you know how to do all that?
But yeah. What? But cinching people's waist and trying to make their booties fatter and their waist skinnier.
People ask for that?
I was taught that.
Wow.
I just don't do it.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe in photoshopping your natural features that God gave you unless it's an annoyance thing. Like a big ass pimple right here. Okay, cool. I can get rid of that.
That's understandable.
But if you have a little belly. Okay, you have a little belly. Right. Like I can't, cause it'll mess up the picture. Because if I cinch that girl's waist, you'll totally tell in the photos. Most people can't tell, but I can tell because I have an eye for it. Okay. So it's a ugh. Okay. It's a mess.
So before we get away from that, one last question about that is, as far as scenery go, what do you like? Do you like open field? Do you like graffiti? Like, what's your
Ooh, I have started to become a fan of graffiti because of Street Meat.
Okay.
Because
shout out to Street Meat, by the way.
Shout out to Street Meat DC. Because of Street Meat, there's a wide range of what you can go for. Right. Like, I took pictures at the Salito Lavender Valley. That was like way out in Montgomery County. Okay. Beautiful land. Even has like bamboo trees where I was wearing like my black dress and it was like bamboo sticks in the background. My absolute favorite picture of all time. That's I love graffiti because it brings the urban, the authentic vibe of the photo. Agreed. Especially if it's like the golden hour. That's like the best time to take pictures because you're getting the great lighting with the colors and everything. Especially if other people's art in that photo, that's even better.
So for people that don't know, what's the golden hour?
The golden hour is usually the sunrise or sunset, depending on the season or depending on like the time of daylight savings. Since we're in summer, sun don't set until like at least 7, 8 o'clock. But if it was winter, it would have set like 4 or 5 o'clock. Yeah. So you have to really catch those good lighting and not use too much shadow, because if you use too much shadow, it overshadows your whole picture.
Right. See, you dropping these gems for y'all. I should have charged y'all to watch this. But,
right. I get the details.
Yeah. That's good though.
I get the details.
People definitely out there need to learn. So
absolutely.
So we're gonna step away from that, but segue into kind of what's going on nowadays as far as the injustice awareness movement going on.
Cool. All right, I'm down.
Yeah. So have you ever experienced any of that in your life? I'm sure you have.
What's weird is that I never noticed it. I've always heard people tell me, oh, this person doesn't like you because of this and this and that. But they never said it to my face. Right. So I always say, if you have a problem with me and you don't say it to my face, that's a you problem. Right. Because you didn't bring it to my attention. Right. But I have seen where me and my sister, we're both different skin tones. She's darker than me. Okay. But she's still beautiful. Like shout out to Yvonne. She's very beautiful. We had food and nutrition together. We had cooking class. And people didn't believe that we were sisters because we didn't look alike. Okay. So,
which is an immature thought, but
it's such an immature thought. Right. And we had to bring in baby pictures to show like, hey, this is our family. People don't realize that black comes in different shades. Right. But we still get injustice regardless of shade. Right. People feel like because the darker skin gives more hatred, which is true, but at the same time, they're loved as well. Like, their skin tone is super rich. Right. And I've always been like, you have the nice chocolatey coconut skin. I don't know why people don't like it. It's just crazy that nowadays there's colorism, there's texturism, and then there's like police brutality, and it's a huge ass. I'm sorry for cussing, but it's a huge mess.
It's definitely a huge mess. So, do you agree with the protest, or are you one of the ones that think like nothing's going to come from it? Or
oh no, I agree.
Yeah, that's
like at first I didn't agree with the looting, but after looking at the history behind it, especially with like Rodney King back in '92. Right. I understand it. Right. So, I mean, I'm sorry to the people's stores, but y'all gotta understand, if there's the term "no justice, no peace." There's a reason behind that.
Right. It means something.
It means something. Like, we are dealing with so much issues that sometimes like destroying shit can get your attention. Right. Because a peaceful protest is not going to get your attention. Now, I will say this. We don't do that. Yeah. We don't do that. Right. If you are not non-black and you're looting and rioting, you're setting a bad example. I understand what you're trying to do, but you're setting a bad example and then putting Black Lives Matter and saying that we're the cause of it. Right. When all we're trying to do is just walk peacefully 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
And not get killed by you guys.
Right.
And I also read a little more about defund the police, because I didn't understand it at first. So when they explained how take money away from the police and giving it to the communities, I'm like, okay, I see where it goes. But the police is going to be more mad because that's money out of their pocket.
Right.
So now it's like you're entering another war without knowing that we're entering another war with them.
Good. So you don't agree with the defund, which I don't agree with that, you know, for other reasons.
I understand what they're trying to do, but that's going to cause more issues.
Right. Yeah, agreed. That's why I was going with it. So, I mean, it's progress being made, you know. So, you know, it's been 2 weeks, I think.
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Almost a month.
Yeah. I don't think protests have ever lasted this long before.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But then we also just recently had another life loss. Rest in peace to Rashard Brooks.
Oh, yes.
He was killed in Atlanta at a Wendy's drive-thru by an Atlanta police cop, and kind of find out that cop has been fired, but he's on administrative duty, which I hate that word, because it's like, how you just gonna fire somebody but then still pay them because they're fired? Like, that shows you that they really don't care about us, and we just gotta come back harder. If it means like tearing down the gates to the White House just to get Donald Trump's attention, so be it, but do it safely.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because eventually it's going to get away from being safe. I feel like eventually, if this keeps going on, people are going to start to retaliate against the police, and that's going to cause a whole nother problem.
And I worry for my nephews who are all boys, and then my niece who's 4.
Right.
And then I worry for my dad working. I worry for my boyfriend working. And I'm worried for everybody that is in my community, no matter if you're a man, woman, gay, trans, all that.
Right.
I worry for us because we're trying to live an everlasting life, just like a white person, an Asian person, and a Spanish person, which I'm half Spanish, but I still fight for my community, because at the end of the day, they're going to see the color of my skin.
Right.
They're not going to know that I'm half Spanish. So it's like a crazier situation to look at.
Agreed. Well, I think that we're heading in the right direction. It's going to take time. It's not going to be an overnight thing.
Oh no.
You know, it took 400 years to get to this point, so it could take another 400 to get, you know. But I feel like
as long as we are heard.
Yeah, that's what's important.
As long as we're heard.
And I feel like people have to go vote also.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like get these old racist people out of the seats that they hold. You know what I mean?
And it's crazy is that a lot of people don't think that it's just white people that we have to be in fear of. It's the black people that's kissing ass to the white racist people that we really gotta be afraid of. Because, for example, Ben Carson, Candace Owens, we have them two. And she already made a video talking about how she's not supporting George Floyd. And I'm not saying that man is perfect. We're not making him a superhero.
Right.
But it's the fact that his $20, which turns out to be real, he died for no reason.
Right.
No one should have to get kneed in the back of the neck to arrest him. And he's chilling, like he's literally laying, trying to just get through it. But I couldn't even finish watching the rest of this video.
Yeah.
I stopped watching every video that deals with someone in our community getting killed, because that's too traumatizing to put out there, especially for little kids.
Right. And even if the 20 was fake, that still doesn't warrant killing somebody.
That is not the way to arrest somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that is not the way to arrest somebody.
It's a very sad situation.
Such a sad situation.
And hopefully, you know, well, I'm quite sure we'll get justice for it because of the uproar that's happening. But hopefully we can continue going in the right direction and not just... I kind of feel like it was a perfect storm because of COVID. Like, a lot of people, they were able to see this. A lot of places are closed. Like, tons and tons of distractions weren't around.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I feel like God kind of was just like, all right, let me reset this.
Right.
Let's shut all this off. Like,
Right.
I'm sick. I'm not feeling well. I need to step out.
Right.
So now we're digging deeper
Right.
into the core of our issues, especially with whoever somebody is elected as a president. Because I look at this person is supposed to be the representation of the whole country,
Right.
all 50 states. Now, mind you, 9 times out of 10, a good 49, 48 point something % of us are not racist.
Right.
And racism is taught, not born into, not bred
Right.
into, period. It's taught.
Facts.
So, we have Donald Trump, which I refuse to call my president. I just call him Donald Trump. He's not the president of the United States or whatever the news wants to call him. He's just Donald Trump.
Right.
The fact that other countries are saying who you are and don't want you in their country, that's an issue.
Right.
And the fact that they know it, we're stuck with him. I mean, we're stuck with him until we get a new president,
Hopefully in November.
which
Right.
I always encourage people to vote.
Yes.
Go vote.
It does matter, y'all. A lot of people think it don't matter. It does matter. Yeah.
It is very important that y'all vote, especially with what's going. This is a perfect example of why you should vote.
Yes.
So important.
Agreed. Well, I appreciate you coming through today.
Thank you.
Do you want to plug your social medias or websites or any place where people can find you or your work or?
So, check me out on Facebook and Instagram at NADJA Natalia Photography. You'll see all my photos that I've edited and created myself and done collabs with as well. I do weddings, I do birthday events, I do photo shoots regarding modeling, clothing lines, jewelry lines, etc.
I'll put the name up on the screen for you.
Yay.
Anybody you want to shout out?
Oh my gosh, shout out to my mama, my daddy. But no, shout out to my family members. They're my number one support system. Like when I started back into, it will be 10 years on the 10th of July.
Wow.
10 years.
That's a long time.
Right. And when I started, literally, they was like, all right, NADJA, we see you got an eye. Someone wants to hire you for a little Christmas party. Did that. My sister, oldest sister, she got married. I did her wedding.
Okay.
I've done graduation shoots, and I also done like anniversaries. And then, here's the crazy part. The camera I used to have, the 5D, that got stolen.
Oh, I remember you telling me that a long time ago.
Yeah, that got stolen. And I didn't take pictures for 2 years. So I lost all creativity, and I was like, I don't know what else to do. So I got into makeup. Yeah.
Okay.
So then I didn't get this camera, the T7i, the Rebel T7i, until February of 2019.
Right.
And immediately went into photo shoots right after that. My first photo shoot after 2 years was in Georgetown during the Exorcist stairs.
Oh, okay. I want to do that. Yeah.
It's creepy, but it's cool at the same time.
Yeah.
But it was freezing cold.
Oh, yeah.
So it's best to do it like in the spring or summer. Okay. But it's like really cool. But now, thanks to that, shout out to my brother Raymond, Osino Fly on Instagram. He actually hit me to Street Meet DC. And my very first one was the one in Silver Spring by Silver Spring Station.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So from there to the Navy Yard that we was at.
Yeah.
To the Lavender Farm, to Union State. Like, I literally, if you see my face, right. I can do all that. And then people asked me to get my picture taken, and I was like, oh, okay. So now I ended up doing both.
Yeah, double duty.
Shooting, like modeling and shooting at the same time. So now it's like a nice little layer. Like, I could do makeup, I can do photography, and I can also model. So it's like each part is like, oh snap, I'm doing this now. Look at me. So it's amazing. It's really amazing. So shout out to my family, my closest friends. Also, I recently did a photo shoot with Soul Tribe and their clothing line. called Canvas Cartel. Shout out to you guys. You guys are super dope. And I want that DMX shirt with a list of all the girls' names on that shirt.
Okay. I'll make sure to put that name up on the screen too.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming through. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
And guess what we're about to? And guess what we're about to do now?
We're about to do some photo shit, son. What we gonna do?
Facts.
We're about to get some picture snapping.
So thank you for coming through.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No problem.